Duke of Venice. There is no composition in these news that gives them credit. First Senator. Indeed, they are disproportioned. My letters say 107 galleys. 330. Duke of Venice. And mine, 140. Second Senator. And mine, 200. But though they jump not on a just account, as in these cases, where the aim reports, 'tis oft with difference, yet do they all confirm 335. A Turkish fleet, and bearing up to Cyprus. Duke of Venice. Nay, it is possible enough to judgment. I do not so secure me in the error. But the main article I do approve. In fearful sense. 340. Sailor. Within, what, ho? What, ho? What, ho? First officer. A messenger from the galleys. Enter a sailor. Duke of Venice. Now, what's the business? Sailor. The Turkish preparation makes for Rhodes, 345. So was I bid report here to the state. By Signor Angelo. Duke of Venice. How say you by this change? First Senator. This cannot be. By no assay of reason, 'tis a pageant, 350. To keep us in false gaze. When we consider the importancy of Cyprus to the Turk. And let ourselves again but understand that as it more concerns the Turk than Rhodes, so may he with more facile question bear it, 355. For that it stands not in such warlike brace, but altogether lacks the abilities that Rhodes is dressed in. If we make thought of this, we must not think the Turk is so unskillful to leave that latest which concerns him first, 360. Neglecting an attempt of ease and gain, to wake and wage a danger profitless. Duke of Venice. Nay, in all confidence, he's not for Rhodes. First officer. Here is more news. Enter a messenger. Messenger. The Ottomites, reverend and gracious, steering with due course towards the Isle of Rhodes, have there enjoined them with an after fleet. First Senator. So I thought. How many, as you guess? Messenger. Of 30 sail, and now they do rest 370. Their backward course, bearing with frank appearance. Their purposes toward Cyprus. Signor Montano. Your trusty and most valiant servitor. With his free duty recommends you thus. And prays you to believe him. 375. Duke of Venice. 'Tis certain, then, for Cyprus. Marcus Lusicos, is not he in town? First Senator. He is now in Florence. Duke of Venice. Write from us to him, post haste dispatch. First Senator. Here comes Brabantio and the valiant Moor. 380. Enter Brabantio, Othello, Iago, Rodrigo, and officers. Duke of Venice. Valiant Othello, we must straight employ you against the general enemy Ottoman. To Brabantio. I did not see you. Welcome, gentle Signor. 385. We lacked your counsel and your help tonight. Brabantio. So did I yours. Good your grace, pardon me. Neither my place nor aught I heard of business hath raised me from my bed, nor doth the general care take hold on me, for my particular grief. 390. Is of so floodgate and o'erbearing nature, that it ingluts and swallows other sorrows. And it is still itself. Duke of Venice. Why, what's the matter? Brabantio. My daughter. Oh, my daughter! 395. Duke of Venice. With Senator, dead? Brabantio. To me. She is abused, stolen from me, and corrupted by spells and medicines bought of mountebanks. For nature so preposterously to err. 400. Being not deficient, blind, or lame of sense. Sans witchcraft could not. Duke of Venice. Her he be that in this foul proceeding hath thus beguiled your daughter of herself, and you of her, The Bloody Book of Law 405. You shall yourself read in the bitter letter. After your own sense, yea, though our proper son stood in your action. Brabantio. Humbly I thank your grace. Here is the man, this Moor, whom now, it seems, 410. Your special mandate for the state affairs hath hither brought. Duke of Venice. With Senator, we are very sorry for't. Duke of Venice. To Othello, what, in your own part, can you say to this? Brabantio. Nothing, but this is so. 415. Othello. Most potent, grave, and reverend seigneurs. My very noble and approved good masters. That I have ta'en away this old man's daughter. It is most true, I have married her. The very head and front of my offending 420 hath this extent, no more. Rude am I in my speech, and little blessed with the soft phrase of peace. For since these arms of mine had 7 years' pith, till now some 9 moons wasted, they have used their dearest action in the tented field, 425. And little of this great world can I speak, more than pertains to feats of broil and battle. And therefore little shall I grace my cause in speaking for myself. Yet, by your gracious patience, I will a round unvarnished tale deliver 430. Of my whole course of love, what drugs, what charms, what conjuration and what mighty magic. For such proceeding I'm charged with all. I won his daughter. Brabantio. A maiden never bold, 435. Of spirits so still and quiet, that her motion blushed at herself, and she, in spite of nature, of years, of country, credit, everything, to fall in love with what she feared to look on. It is a judgment maimed and most imperfect 440. That will confess perfection so could err against all rules of nature, and must be driven to find out practices of cunning hell. Why this should be, I therefore vouch again, that with some mixtures powerful or the blood, 445, or with some dram conjured to this effect, he wrought upon her. Duke of Venice. To vouch this, is no proof, without more wider and more overt test, than these thin habits and poor likelihoods 450. Of modern seeming do prefer against him. First Senator. But, Othello, speak. Did you by indirect and forced courses subdue and poison this young maid's affections? Or came it by request and such fair question 455? As soul to soul affordeth? Othello. I do beseech you. Send for the lady to the Sagittary, and let her speak of me before her father. If you do find me foul in her report, 460. The trust, the office I do hold of you, not only take away, but let your sentence even fall upon my life. Duke of Venice. Fetch Desdemona hither. Othello. Ancient, conduct them, you best know the place. 465. Exeundiago and attendants. And, till she come, as truly as to heaven, I do confess the vices of my blood. So justly to your grave ears I'll present how I did thrive in this fair lady's love, 470. And she in mine. Duke of Venice. Say it, Othello. Othello. Her father loved me, oft invited me, still questioned me the story of my life. From year to year, the battles, sieges, fortunes, 475. That I have passed. I ran it through, even from my boyish days, to the very moment that he bade me tell it. Wherein I spake of most disastrous chances, of moving accidents by flood and field 480, of hairbreadth scapes I the imminent deadly breach, of being taken by the insolent foe, and sold to slavery, of my redemption thence, and portents in my travels history, wherein Avanter's vast and desert sidle, 485. Rough quarries, rocks and hills whose heads touch heaven. It was my hint to speak, such was the process. And of the cannibals that each other eat. The anthropophagian men whose heads do grow beneath their shoulders. This to hear 490. Would Desdemona seriously incline? But still the house affairs would draw her thence. Whichever as she could with haste dispatch. Shall'd come again, and with a greedy air devour up my discourse, which I observing, 495. Took one supply and hour, and found good means to draw from her a prayer of earnest heart, that I would all my pilgrimage dilate. Whereof by parcels she had something heard, but not intentively, I did consent, 500. And often did beguile her of her tears, when I did speak of some distressful stroke that my youth suffered. My story being done, she gave me for my pains a world of sighs. She swore, in faith, 'twas strange, 'twas passing strange, 505. 'Twas pitiful, 'twas wondrous pitiful. She wished she had not heard it, yet she wished that heaven had made her such a man. She thanked me, and bade me, if I had a friend that loved her, I should but teach him how to tell my story. 510. And that would woo her. Upon this hint I spake. She loved me for the dangers I had passed, and I loved her that she did pity them. This only is the witchcraft I have used. Here comes the lady, let her witness it. 515. Enter Desdemona, Iago, and attendants. Duke of Venice. I think this tale would win my daughter too. Good Brabantio. Take up this mangled matter at the best. Men do their broken weapons a rather use 520 than their bare hands. Brabantio. I pray you, hear her speak. If she confess that she was half the wooer, destruction on my head, if my bad blame light on the man. Come hither, gentle mistress. 525. Do you perceive in all this noble company where most you owe obedience? Desdemona. My noble father. I do perceive here a divided duty. To you I am bound for life and education. 530. My life and education both do learn me how to respect you. You are the lord of duty. I am hitherto your daughter, but here's my husband. And so much duty as my mother showed to you, preferring you before her father. 535. So much I challenge that I may profess. Do to them more, my lord. Brabantio. God be wi' you. I have done. Please it your grace, on to the state affairs. I had rather to adopt a child than get it. 540. Come hither, more. I here do give thee that with all my heart. Which, but thou hast already, with all my heart, I would keep from thee. For your sake, jewel. I am glad at soul I have no other child. 545. For thy escape would teach me tyranny, to hang clogs on them. I have done, my lord. Duke of Venice. Let me speak like yourself, and lay a sentence, which, as a grise or step, may help these lovers into your favor. 550. When remedies are past, the griefs are ended. By seeing the worst, which late on hopes depended, to mourn a mischief that is past and gone, is the next way to draw new mischief on. What cannot be preserved when fortune takes? 555. Patience her injury a mockery makes. The rob that smiles steals something from the thief. He robs himself that spends a bootless grief. Brabantio. So let the Turk of Cyprus us beguile. We lose it not, so long as we can smile. 560. He bears the sentence well that nothing bears but the free comfort which from thence he hears. But he bears both the sentence and the sorrow that, to pay grief, must of poor patience borrow. These sentences, to sugar, or to gall, 565. Being strong on both sides, are equivocal. But words are words. I never yet did hear that the bruised heart was pierced through the ear. I humbly beseech you, proceed to the affairs of state. Duke of Venice. The Turk with a most mighty preparation makes for 570. Cyprus. Othello, the fortitude of the place is best known to you, and though we have there a substitute of most allowed sufficiency, yet opinion, a sovereign mistress of effects, throws a more safer voice on you, you must therefore be content to 575. Slubber the gloss of your new fortunes with this more stubborn and boisterous expedition. Othello. The tyrant custom, most grave senators, hath made the flinty and steel couch of war my thrice driven bed of down, I do agonize 580. A natural and prompt alacrity I find in hardness, and do undertake these present wars against the Ottomites. Most humbly therefore bending to your state, I crave fit disposition for my wife. 585. Do reference of place and exhibition, with such accommodation and resort as levels with her breeding. Duke of Venice. If you please. Bet at her father apostrophe s. 590. Brabantio. I'll not have it so. Othello. Nor I. Desdemona. Nor I would not there reside. To put my father in impatient thoughts by being in his eye. Most gracious Duke, 595. To my unfolding lend your prosperous air, and let me find a charter in your voice to assist my simpleness. Duke of Venice. What would you, Desdemona? Desdemona. That I did love the more to live with him. 600. My downright violence and storm of fortunes may trumpet to the world, my heart's subdued even to the very quality of my lord. I saw Othello's visage in his mind, and to his honor and his valiant parts. 605. Did I my soul and fortunes consecrate, so that, dear lords, if I be left behind a moth of peace, and he go to the war, the rights for which I love him are bereft me, and I a heavy interim shall support. 610. By his dear absence, let me go with him. Othello. Let her have your voices. Vouch with me, heaven, I therefore beg it not to please the palate of my appetite, nor to comply with heat, the young affects. 615. In me defunct, and proper satisfaction, but to be free and bounteous to her mind. And heaven defend your good souls, that you think I will your serious and great business scant. For she is with me, no, when light wing toys. 620. A feathered Cupid seal with wanton dullness. My speculative and effaced instruments, that my disports corrupt and taint my business. Let housewives make a skillet of my helm, and all indign and base adversities. 625. Make head against my estimation. Duke of Venice. Be it as you shall privately determine. Either for her stay or going, the affair cries haste, and speed must answer it. First Senator. You must away tonight. 630. Othello. With all my heart. Duke of Venice. At 9 the morning here we'll meet again. Othello. Leave some officer behind, and he shall our commission bring to you, with such things else of quality and respect. 635. As doth import you. Othello. So please your grace, my ancient. A man he is of honest and trust. To his conveyance I assign my wife. With what else needful your good grace shall think. 640. To be sent after me. Duke of Venice. Let it be so. Good night to every one. To Brabantio. And, noble Signor, 645. If virtue no delighted beauty lack, your son-in-law is far more fair than black. First Senator. Adieu, brave Moor, use Desdemona well. Brabantio. Look to her, Moor, if thou hast eyes to see. She has deceived her father, and may thee. 650. Exeunt Duke of Venice, senators, officers, and c. Othello. my life upon her faith. Honest Iago. My Desdemona must I leave to thee. I prithee, let thy wife attend on her, and bring them after in the best advantage. 655. Come, Desdemona, I have but an hour of love, of worldly matters and direction to spend with thee. We must obey the time. Exeunt Othello and Desdemona. Rodrigo. Iago, 660. Iago. What say'st thou, noble heart? Rodrigo. What will I do, thinkest thou? Iago. Why, go to bed, and sleep. Rodrigo. I will incontinently drown myself. Iago. If thou dost, I shall never love thee after. Why, 665. Thou silly gentleman. Rodrigo. It is silliness to live when to live is torment, and then have we a prescription to die when death is our physician. Iago. O villainous! I have looked upon the world for 4 times 7 years, and since I could distinguish 670 betwixt a benefit and an injury, I never found man that knew how to love himself. Ere I would say, I would drown myself for the love of a guinea hen, I would change my humanity with a baboon. Rodrigo. What should I do? I confess it is my shame to be so 675 fond, but it is not in my virtue to amend it. Iago. Virtue. A fig. 'Tis in ourselves that we are thus. Or thus. Our bodies are our gardens, to the which our wills are gardeners, so that if we will plant nettles, or sow lettuce, set hyssop and weed up 680 time, supply it with one gender of herbs, or distract it with many, either to have it sterile with idleness, or manure it with industry, why, the power and corrigible authority of this lies in our wills. If the balance of our lives had not one 685 scale of reason to poise another of sensuality, the blood and baseness of our natures would conduct us to most preposterous conclusions, but we have reason to cool our raging motions, our carnal stings, our unbidden lusts, whereof I take this that 690 you call love to be a sect or scion. Rodrigo. It cannot be. Iago. It is merely a lust of the blood and a permission of the will. Come, be a man. Drown thyself. Drown cats and blind puppies. I have professed me thy 695 friend, and I confess me knit to thy deserving with cables of perdurable toughness. I could never better stead thee than now. Put money in thy purse, follow thou the wars, defeat thy favor with an usurped beard. I say, put money in thy purse. It's 700. Cannot be that Desdemona should long continue her love to the Moor. Put money in thy purse, common or he his to her. It was a violent commencement, and thou shalt see an answerable sequestration. Put but money in thy purse. These Moors are changeable in 705. Their wills, fill thy purse with money. The food that to him now is as luscious as locusts, shall be to him shortly as bitter as Colaquintita. She must change for youth, when she is sated with his body. She will find the error of her choice, she must 710 have change, she must, therefore put money in thy purse. If thou wilt needs damn thyself, do it a more delicate way than drowning. Make all the money thou canst, if sanctimony and a frail vow betwixt an erring barbarian and a super subtle Venetian. Not 715. Too hard for my wits and all the tribe of hell. Thou shalt enjoy her, therefore make money. A pox of drowning thyself. It is clean out of the way. Seek thou rather to be hanged encompassing thy joy than to be drowned and go without her. 720. Rodrigo. Wilt thou be fast to my hopes, if I depend on the issue? Iago. Thou art sure of me: go, make money: I have told thee often, and I retell thee again and again, I hate the more, my cause is hearted, thine hath no. 725. Less reason. Let us be conjunctive in our revenge against him. If thou canst cuckold him, thou dost thyself a pleasure, me a sport. There are many events in the womb of time which will be delivered. Traverse. Go, provide thy money. We will have more. 7:30. Of this tomorrow. Adieu. Rodrigo. Where shall we meet I the morning? Iago. At my lodging. Rodrigo. I'll be with thee betimes. Iago. Go to, farewell. Do you hear, Rodrigo? 7:35. Rodrigo. What say you? Iago. No more of drowning, do you hear? Rodrigo. I am changed, I'll go sell all my land. Exit. Iago. Thus do I ever make my fool my purse. 7:40. For I mine own gain knowledge should profane, if I would time expend with such a snipe. But for my sport and profit, I hate the more. And it is thought abroad, that twixt my sheets he has done my office. I know not if 't be true. 745. But I, for mere suspicion in that kind, will do as if for surety he holds me well. The better shall my purpose work on him. Cassio's a proper man, let me see now, to get his place and to plume up my will. 750. In double knavery, how? Let's see. After some time, to abuse Othello's ear, that he is too familiar with his wife. He hath a person and a smooth dispose, to be suspected, framed to make women false. 755. The more is of a free and open nature, that thinks men honest that but seem to be so, and will as tenderly be led by the nose as asses are. I have it. It is engendered. Helen Knight. 760. Must bring this monstrous birth to the world's light,